guys, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to another classic album review. Well, we take a look at those albums of days gone by that are now pure classics. And as this is the 1st of May, I thought, because there are 5 Mondays in May, I thought that I would do an album from each decade. So we're going to start with the 50s and go through to the 90s. The album I've chosen for the 1950s is an album by a person that's been called the progenitor of funk music and a major figure of the 20th century. And he was referred by various names like the hardest working man in show business, the godfather of soul, Mr. Dynamite, and Soul Brother #1. The only person we can be talking about is the brilliant Mr. James Brown. Born James Joseph Brown on the 3rd of May 1933 and sadly passed away Christmas Day 2006. His career spanned 50 years and influenced the development of several music genres. And James was one of the first 10 inductees in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. So the album we're going to talk about is his debut album from 1958 called Please Please Please, and it goes under the billing of James Brown and his famous Flames, and it includes the group's first 2 top 10 hits. And it has been recorded and was recorded up to the time of the album's release, most of these songs, so there's sort of B-sides as well. So you've got all these some of his early singles and B-sides on one album, and it was reissued in 2003. So on here, of course, there'll be a certain James Brown doing this singing. Now the famous Flames were Bobby Bird, backing vocals and piano, Johnny Terry on backing vocals, Sylvester Keels on backing vocals, Bill Holland backing vocals, you got Lewis Madison on backing vocals, and Nell Floyd Scott. So the first song on this album is the title track. It's a classic, Please Please Please. It still remains one of my favourite James Brown songs ever. I love watching him sing this because he gets down on his knees, and it's very iconic track, I think. Even gets a mention in the film The Commitments because of its deep thing and how to sing. It's just a great track. Then we get a track now. It's called Chonnie-On-Chon. What a mouthful. This is a sort of a mixture of rock and roll and soul, and it's got a lovely saxophone and piano, which always seem to work in rock and roll. And James, of course, absolutely killer vocal. I love listening to James Brown. He's probably my favourite sort of soul singer. He's just brilliant. Then we get Hold My Baby's Hand, one of my favourite vocal performances by James Brown, especially that opening line. It just, what a voice. Nothing gentle, straight in with the bellowing soul voice of James Brown. A brilliant track. I feel that old feeling coming on. Another great rock and roll track. Still sounds good today. I love this track. Just Won't Do Right, one of my favourite songs on this album. I love the Flaming Flames, the famous Flames, sorry. A great harmonising vocal, and they were great singers in their own right. Absolutely terrific song. Baby Cries Over the Ocean. Again, it's just great singing, isn't it? A powerful lead vocal, and some lovely harmonies that sort of complement James. Absolutely wonderful track. I don't know. This is one of these tracks. It's rock and roll blues song with a little bit of soul, and the soul is provided by the vocal of James Brown. Great song. Then we get Tell Me What I Did Wrong. Wonderful sort of rock and roll, soulful, great guitar, great saxophone, and another superb vocal for Mr. Brown. Then we got Try Me. Not one of my favourite tracks, I'm afraid, but I sort of like it. James always sounds good. Then we got that Dude It, and this is lovely. This is a boogie woogie piano, and I love boogie woogie piano. It's just a brilliant track. Begging, a wonderful vocal performance by James again. Absolutely brilliant. Nice guitar work on this as well. Solid, did you like? I Walked Alone. Like one of them other songs that you can just imagine him getting, you know how he used to get down on his knees with the mic and go like, how you can just imagine him do that. Great song. Just a classic. Then we get No. This certainly got that 1940s feel to it. It's got the horns and the vocal performance from James really adds to it. It's just a great track. That's When I Lost My Heart. Very soulful. Just a great track. There's not much you can say about that. It's just wonderful. Then it's Let's Make It. Now this is one of my favourite tracks again on the album because the saxophone sound good. That's another sterling vocal from James Brown. Love or a Game. There's so much passion in James's singing on it, and that's what I love about it. Showed lots of passion. Okay, there's not many reviews about this, but the ones I did find were just AllMusic gave it a 3 and the Rolling Stone album gave it 3 stars. Now I think this is an album that's sometimes overlooked and forgotten about. A lot of these sort of artists, their first albums are totally forgotten about. But I love this because it's got so many different genres and there's a little bit of soul, jazz, blues, rock and roll, and some performances vocally by James that are just incredible. I love this album. I haven't got it on vinyl. I've never owned it on vinyl. I've got it on a CD. I play it to death. I do just love this album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.3. So there we go. Next week I will be choosing an album from the 60s for our classic album. And that's all for today. If you're here in the UK, have a great bank holiday, an extra day off work. I'm going to have a chill out day. I'm actually going to go out with my mate Lee. We are going to one of the village pubs around here for a pint and a catch up. But I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow we have got another Jeff Beck ranking, and we're going to look at some of his collaboration albums. And also tomorrow's retro ranking. It's coming up to that time of the year either love or hate. I used to love it, but I think it's a farce now, and that's the Eurovision Song Contest. And tomorrow I'm going to pick my top 10, as I call them, top 10 dudes points. So these are all these are winners of the Eurovision Song Contest, and I've picked my favourites. I think everyone may have an inkling of who my number one is already. So if you want to know if you was right, watch the video tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.